Hello y'all, I am back again with another video with advanced insight. So this video is going to be about when it's time to do this. And I mean when it's really time. When it's just time to do it, y'all. And this is when it's time to do it. Okay, everybody that gave you advice. Kind-natured people. They just didn't gave you advice. The advice can sound like this. Stop helping them. Stop protecting them. Begin to think more about yourself. Look at how this is hurting your family, your environment. Look at how this could even be ruining your reputation. However, this is when it's time. Because see, sometimes when you're empathetic, you're still helping. Because see, you're working off a place of love. You love this person. So this individual that the world is telling you not to help, no more, including sometimes law enforcement. You've been advised before they even really started acting up. For some of y'all, a detective even said, restrain them, okay? You ain't got to do all of that if you don't want to, especially when you're dealing with relatives. Because to be honest, a lot of these wicked people, inclusive of serial killers, they family be sitting right up in court with them. So they ain't restraining that serial killer. So be careful with advice. Because some of these same people that will tell you to restrain your family wouldn't do it to their family. However, this is when it's time. However way you want to do it, even if you have to take a time out or permanently not have this person or relative at your home anymore, right? This is when it's fully time to really consider what you need to do. And this is when the psychopath tells you the same thing everybody else been telling you. A lot of times they're going to type it to you. And see, I believe in this. If you're going to talk about or vent about somebody behind their back, be willing to say it to them, even if you have to type it. So the reason I say that is because then you're not backstabbing people. So if you're going to vent about what this person did, well, they hurt my feelings, I was injured, whatever the situation is, be willing to say it to the person also. So it can begin just like that. You send a message, hey, my feelings was hurt when we got into that scuffle. I got injured, maybe they got injured, whatever, just venting. I didn't like that name that you called me. So you just are professionally venting without using profanity. You're not downgrading the person, you're just expressing your genuine feelings. But when that psychopath, narcissist, or sociopath tell you this, and a lot of times they'll use language that they haven't used before. Okay, so that's a red flag too. You know it's them messaging you. However, you got to remember, psychopaths are watching a lot of things. You know, they're not, a lot of them are very language fluent, where they speak well and all of that. So they may use words that you ain't really even heard them use. Like, I warned you, you a knucklehead. I warned you, you acting pretty childish. I warned you, you acting off balance. Something I was told in one of the messages. You typing me all of this, you sound pretty pathetic. And that's when it's time. Sometimes the psychopath will say, I told you I was going to shoot your back door off. I mean, they kind of like telling you who they are. I'm telling you I'm not going to change. I'm telling you, ma'am or sir, that I have no interest in listening to your ass. Because they throwing in those cuss words and all of that. So that's when it's time. You got to do what they tell you to do. Stop being pathetic. Stop being a knucklehead. And remember, their advice is not really advice in the way we would give it. Remember, I'm calling it advice, but actually what they're saying is actually a form of aggression, is cockiness. It's also a cocky, power-filled position that they think they in. Because see, when somebody calls you a knucklehead or you're pathetic, they're saying that they're above you in some sense, or like they're more intimidating. And statistically, you can go to any grave site, and a grave site is not just filled with empathic people. It's filled with psychopaths too, that somebody done took off this planet already. So keep that in mind. That's something that the psychopath can't even see or fathom, that they could be in a weaker position, inclusive of being harmed or seriously injured by another human being. And let's hope it never happens. We don't want to wish that on nobody. However, the reason I'm pointing that out is this. When the psychopath or narcissist or sociopath, I find this especially to be true with people that have psychopathy. In this instance, I'm not going to use sociopaths, because through therapy, because they're not born a sociopath, psychopaths are born. It's a brain thing. A lot of times I feel like there's even some nervous system issues, anxiety. There's a lot of different things that go on with psychopathy. So they're just warning you, but it's not necessarily from a place of love, because they don't have that to give. So it's not like it's genuine. It's just they're making the statement. They just talking. That's probably one of the most honest times that they're giving you. That's probably the most honest they're ever going to be, is when they're telling you, I warned you. I told you. You're a knucklehead. You're a dummy. You're an idiot. Be blessed if that's all they call you, is the knucklehead. But see, I pay attention to language. I'm like, never heard him or her use that word before. So that's when it's time. You got to stop being the knucklehead. So the way I recommend going about this, I mean, we always talk about no contact. A lot of times, depending on the situation, there's some form of contact because of the family situation. You know what's best for your situation. But this is when it's time. And when I say when it's time, I'm not saying it's time to go no contact fully. It's time to put your safety first. And it's time to get off social media, conversating with this person or conversing with this person, whether it be friend, relative, or whomever. Be done with that. Anytime you type somebody something, expressing your feelings, just one paragraph, maybe two, maybe three, whatever, and there's no thank you, I appreciate you sharing that, I apologize. You could have maybe gotten I'm sorry somewhere in the middle of them calling you the knucklehead or pathetic or the dummy or idiot, whatever they called you. But that's when it's time. So they're telling you they're not going to change. However, the more you stay tuned in and involved, what's going to change is your life. Your life is going to change for the worse along with the psychopaths or narcissist life. And that's what you got to stop. So when it's time to finally, just if you answer a question or something and there's a business activity, just yes or no answers. No more paragraphs. And a lot of times what this will do also is get this psychopath off your radar. Because you're just a piece of supply. I mean, it ain't no real love there. Real loving relationships, I mean, ain't nobody cocky like that, telling you, didn't I tell you I'm a dangerous man or woman? Why didn't you listen to that? I mean, really listen or read what they're saying to you, and that's when it's time. See, because a lot of times the advice that all the kind-natured people have given you, you kind of listening, you're getting better. Yeah, you might have went no contact with your husband or wife or your narcissistic or psychopathic relative for like 6 months, 3 months, 2 months. So it gave it a cool off, because that's all it is for the psychopath and narcissist. It's just a cool off period. That's it. And then you get your life back together as far as getting your like peacefulness back. And then you may not have your life fully together in like every area. I mean, or maybe you do have the perfect life. I don't have the perfect life. I'm just being honest. There's no perfect life. You can have a happy life, but I don't think everything is going to be perfect. I mean, we all have our flaws and things we need to work on. However, that's just when it's time. When the psychopath tell you that you a knucklehead, and that's when you got to really get serious about doing something about it. So this is what you're going to do. Stop typing those long paragraphs. If it's appropriate for your situation, go no contact. Find you something else to do would be number 3. 4, stop worrying about the psychopath's location and if they're safe. Because part of that message is saying that they don't care about your safety in general. 5, you got to put it in the Lord's hands, because you can't change everything. Everything is not meant to be changed. 6, you are not fully in control of nobody's karma, not even always your own. So let everything work out in the karma realm so it comes out for the best. 7, keep the Lord in control of everything that you do. 8, never take your life for granted anymore. Trying to help someone that doesn't really care about helping themselves. Recognize that. Just because you're empathic in all the situations you were in, you wanted to help yourself, don't mean that a psychopath want to do that. Number 9, be prepared for the worst outcome, because the universe ain't no joke. And this universe is ready to take any of us out at any moment and second. Number 10, you come first from now on before this psychopath. You got to accept that it's time, because this psychopath ain't never putting you first. Ever, ever, ever. If you was in a nursing home, this psychopath ain't gonna be putting you first. And the reason that is because a lot of them is going to be out in the streets drug addicted. Just point blank. Ain't nobody that's out there on no drugs ever going to be there for you. And it's just time. It is time. Now the psychopath done told you a knucklehead. You gotta stop. This psychopath, somebody that's basically walking around borderline without a conscience. You gotta stop this individual from humiliating you. Because when they send you those type of messages and say those type of things, leave those type of messages on your voicemail. A lot of times after you done very much saved their lives, and I mean literally saved their life. If it wasn't for the Lord putting you in their midst at that particular time on that day, they could be out of here. But the Lord used you and allowed you to assist them. And now it's time that you start assisting yourself. Be very grateful that that psychopath called you pathetic. But you need to stop being humiliated and you need to stop being pathetic, like the psychopath says. And the way to do that is to stop typing all that stuff. Stop talking all that stuff. Psychopaths don't care nothing about what you saying. Half the time they think the way you doing things is stupid. And in their mind, they doing it better. They gonna get further than you. They gonna have more than you. Spiritually, they'll never have more. Because any man or woman without a conscience is never going to spiritually be in the best place that they should be. You can't ever be in the best spiritual place when you have no conscience and no remorse about what you do to other human beings. You will never be in the best spiritual place. It's time. It's just outright time for you to stop talking so much and typing so much. I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. I've been on this bike almost 18 minutes. Please leave a comment. Thanks for listening.